Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. I only want to take a look at the smaller time frame in this video. We are going to take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, I covered the daily chart in the previous update. Nothing has changed there. Actually, we have some bullish indicators on the daily. I showed you these MACD bullish cross, Bollinger Bands breakout to the downside on the weekly, which indicates we could snap back into the bands to the upside. That means we have a bullish divergence on the RSI. Just the microstructure doesn't convince me yet that a low is in, even though I'd really like to have a low in, so that we finally can get also the altcoins out of their mess. But looking at the short term, I think the situation hasn't changed. Situation is very clear. It's very clear what we need to see in order to confirm that a low has been established in this larger wave 4. We are now approaching this descending trend line. That's definitely something to watch, because this trend line has at least 3 touch points and it's been with us since the 7th of June. And this is keeping the trend down to a degree, you know, not from an Elliott Wave point of view necessarily, but still this could be an interesting breakout point. Okay, I would definitely say watch it, try to make everybody aware of that trend line. In the very short term, looking at the microstructure, and I will try to tidy it up a little bit, but I think it's just, and we can keep it so simple. To really confirm that a low in wave 4 is bottomed here on the 5th of July, I'm talking about the entire correction, and that we've bottomed and now head towards 85k plus, I first need to see that 5-wave move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the moment, it looks a little bit as if at least the yellow micro count and the bearish setup might be invalidated, because we're already testing the upper resistance level there. But that is not necessarily directly bullish. Short term, a bit more bullish, yes, but we might just test the trend line, right? So I'm definitely watching that trend line. That's interesting, and that also should provide some resistance in the region of the 61.8 retracement. So that means if we go up higher, this is the next key cluster of resistance around 59,600, 59,700. Definitely worth watching. From a short-term point of view, all it might mean is that we are just resetting the B wave a little higher, but I won't confirm that until we have basically broken above resistance, right? 15 micro resistance. So in the short-term bullish count, as I said, we are dealing with a diagonal pattern, and I need to see all 5 waves completed, probably reaching 64, 65k to really, from an analysis point of view, confirm that a lasting low has been in place or is in place. That 5-wave move then, once completed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably will be corrected in an ABC structure. 5 up, 3 down. So that means there could be another opportunity then afterwards. But first we need to see those 5 waves, because this is not impulsive, it's only a diagonal. I can't trust this white structure until it's complete, but we can watch for further upside, yeah, as long as this last low is holding at 57,200. Right? I don't see a clear long trade setup, however. So it just means that, look, we are at the key pivot now, right? We are approaching these key resistances, but I don't see a clear long trade setup. In contrast to that, the short-term bearish count allows for the interpretation that a B wave has topped, and we just form one more low, which would also be a 5-wave move down, wave 1, then wave 2, 3, 4, 5. For that wave 2, I gave you a resistance area, which ideally isn't broken in the yellow count. Well, if it is, then it definitely keeps the door open for the white count, which is positive from a bullish point of view, but it might just be a reset of the B wave. So we can discuss this sort of microstructure all day long, but the movements to the upside are all just corrective. Of course, it can go higher, but it doesn't give me a clear long trade setup. I think a breakout setup could appear for anybody who wants to trade the breakout of the trend line. Until then, we actually have a 1-2 setup to the downside. So wave 1 down, and then A, B, C to the upside in wave 2. But now I need to see a break below the red line to confirm that we've actually started the move down. So the downside pressure will get stronger with a break below this swing low that formed on Friday at 57,200. And then we could just get this correction done with one more low. But for now, we're just ranging, okay? We're just ranging. 3 waves up, 3 waves down, no clear direction. Really, the most interesting thing for me on this chart is that trend line. If that breaks, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe not much on the weekend, but everything else is just ranging, right? We're just holding below that trend line, and the movements to the upside are just corrective, and there's nothing clearly bullish yet on this chart. What we had on the chart was here this 1-2 setup. Well, that was short-term bullish. The price has gone up. Since then, there hasn't really been a clear long trade setup. Now there's a possible bearish setup here, but it's pushing the limits, right? It's pushing the limits, but levels are clear. Levels are clear. Confirmation levels are clear. Invalidation points are clear. And it's going to be interesting to see how the market will react to that trend line. If we break above that trend line, maybe it will generate the fuel for the price, the momentum to finish off the white third wave, okay? And where should it get to? The first target after a trend line break is 60,700. And then above that, 61,480. There's not much more to say really, as long as we are moving in this range. So hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.